Happy Friday. I am Sami Vecchiolla, and I'm here today for your Friday dose of sunshine with myself. And today I have a special guest. And the reason I brought her on is not only because she's, again, one of the happiest people that I know, but I believe that photos tell a story. And as you guys know, I love storytelling. I sell homes through storytelling. So it's a huge, huge part of my business. And I just think that Jean does a fantastic job displaying an image and creating those. Every picture has 1,000 words. She creates that from the start. So without further ado, I want to bring on Jean Terman from Jean Terman Photography. She is from one of the Master Max chapters that I am a part of, and I really love her energy, her excitement, and her passion for what she does. Jean, come on in.
I'm sorry, I had to do it. It's just like, oh yeah,
you are really the best.
I was listening. It was lovely. Thank you so much for that. That was such a lovely intro. And I was listening going, oh yeah, I really do have to show up. Sure, Sami, how are you?
And I forgot to mention that she is like the most hilarious person I know too. So Jean, tell us a little bit about yourself so everyone here knows more about you more than what I just said.
Clearly, I have a really weird sense of humor. So we'll start there. I live in New Jersey. People do actually live in New Jersey. I know most people in New York don't believe that, but we do. And I have a son who just graduated high school, which is really exciting. And and a husband who designs software for a living. So he has a weird sense of humor too. Just goes with the territory. And we love being interested in life. And I've spent my whole life being interested in life. That's kind of what makes us who we are. I think for every person out there, that's what informs every day, is being interested in what happens.
I love that so much. That's amazing. That is, my mom got a good laugh at that. She said, that was great. How did you get into photography? Tell us a little bit about that story.
The best way I can describe it is when I was 4, my dad came home with the first love of my life. It was this black bundle of fur, this little cockapoo puppy that was like my best friend forever. And when I was 11, for my birthday, they gave me the second love of my life, which was my first camera. And I used my second love to take unending pictures of my first love, and never put the camera down. So I'm that person. I don't do it as much now because I live with the camera in my hand for my business too, but I was that person who, wherever they went, had to create images of where they were. And I really see the world through a viewfinder. Like I'm always going, oh, that light's great. Or, oh, I love that composition. Or, it's like, I can't, I am in the grocery store and people walk up to me and I don't know them. And I will go, oh my gosh, the lighting is so perfect on your face. Like, that's beautiful. And then they like want to call the police. But I have to say, no, I'm a photographer and it's weird. I'm sorry. But
you're an artist, and that's what artists do. They see the vision and they go forth with it.
I have trained for way too many years, and I never tell people how many years because then you would know how old I am, and I really prefer that people guess. I love you. But I know I have an 18-year-old child, so I must be, 22. So I was an adoption when I was very young. But I really have always seen the world as just something really amazing to capture and record. When I went to Italy for 9 days, it was on film. It was on film, guys, but I took 45 rolls of film.
Oh my God.
And I actually saw Italy with my eyes because I teach photography courses. I would do pullouts in middle schools to teach kids about art and photography. And I do photography camp in my studio. I'm really hoping I can do that in August this year. So hang on. I'm hoping. But I always tell my kids, put the camera down. Don't look at the world like this. I was at a museum. I was at the Corning Museum of Glass. If you have never been to
Oh,
Corning, New York,
upstate New York.
isn't it awesome? And this person was literally, not this person, I can't tell you how many people had their iPads like this in front of their face, walking through, videoing the museum, and they were seeing the museum through their iPad. They never took it down to experience life.
Yeah.
You know, you capture a second and then you experience the world. And then maybe something else will happen that you go, oh, I need to capture that. You capture that second and then you experience the world. Don't let the camera overcome you. So knowing that and knowing that that's how I live in Italy was amazing. 45 rolls of film. So imagine.
That's, that's amazing. But 9 days is a pretty good amount of time to experience a little bit of Italy.
It was good. It wasn't
Yeah.
enough, but it
Of
was good.
course, it's never enough. But that's why you can always come back. That's what I think. I always say that short trips are better than no trips.
I
So
agree.
9 days is a decent trip. So I think that's awesome. I have behind me all my photography from my trips that I've taken. This one, oh, that one, this one's for my honeymoon. And it was just the most gorgeous place. And my husband is like an amateur photographer. We don't know what we're doing, but we try. And so we took photos on our honeymoon of that, and just it doesn't do it justice, believe me. Beautiful.
But I love that you hung them. One of the things that I find so sad, because coming from the film world, and I did when I trained, I developed my own film and did the whole thing. And there's nothing like I. Oh, by the way, I do teach my kids to use when we do it. We use 35 millimeter cameras, and they do everything on manual. They don't do film, but they do everything on manual. They have to learn what an f-stop is and what shutter speeds are, and because if you're not relying on the technology, you suddenly have to understand what's happening in the world and how your brain has to see what's happening so that you can capture it effectively. um, but in that world, back in the world when it was on film, the way you saw what you took pictures of was you had to print them. You had something to hold on to,
Hmm.
right? And yes, a lot of those would end up in the drawer. Um, but some of them would end up in frames, right? Now that we're doing all this digital stuff, people are so vested in getting those digital images. And then what do they do with them? They leave them on their laptop, or
We'll put them on
they leave them in
Facebook.
their phone, or yeah, they might put them on Instagram. They might put them on, but they never. But as you walk through your world, right, you don't see any of that, and you're going, 3 years ago when I was at, can I find that picture somewhere? And
Yes, it happens
oh
all the time in conversation.
no, right? So I love that you hung them. I love that you printed them. I love that you made them a part of your world. I think that's what's supposed to happen. Is you're supposed to be able to look at those memories and go, oh, I was so happy that day,
I had a
right?
friend challenge me to do that because I was in February of last year. I went to Miami to the 10X conference with Grant Cardone, and I was sitting there with my friends and we were talking about what we want to implement and all these things. And I said, I moved into my husband's bachelor pad that I pretty much decorated to be a bachelor pad. And I decided, you know what? I'm married now. I don't need to be living in a bachelor pad. So I'm going to make it my home. And I didn't want it to be feminine because that's not my style. I wanted it to be something that involved the two of us. So, what do we love to do? Travel. So Tina Campbell from Master Networks, she bought
Oh my
me this
favorite.
map for my bridal shower, and it was a map of the world, and it's all the places that I've been, all the places that he's been, and all the places that we've been. And it's
Oh,
a little push pin map. So that's been on my wall for like ever. And I ended up printing all of the pictures from all the different countries that we've been to, and I love it. I mean, this is my dining room, and then I have a bunch of other photos throughout the house too. So
I think that's
it
awesome.
brings you back.
Because you walk through the best memories of your life every day. How could
And
you not?
it reminds me to travel too. I mean, obviously not right now, but when I'm allowed to, I'm going to be traveling again to other countries. So,
Yeah, I mean, I just even if it's your pictures of your kids at the park or whatever it is. There's actually studies. So parents, if you're listening, there are lots of studies that show having pictures of your children and updating them and refreshing them lets your children know how valued they are to you. They're walking through the world, seeing these pictures in frames hanging around, and they know they're valued. They know they're seen. So this
mhm.
world we now live in where everything's digital and everything's online has taken that away from our kids, right? And online makes it very judgy. But when mom puts that, or dad or grandma or whoever puts that picture out, it even though they say, "Oh my gosh, why did you do that?" And they all do. Inside they're going, "They like me," and it means
I
something. It
figured
really
that. I remember my mom is so funny. What kids? So my brother is obviously older than me, and so he has like 800 more photos than I do. And so when growing up, I was like, why don't I have as many photos? And she was like, hello, I had two of you. It's a whole
Okay,
list.
I got to tell you, you asked me about my camera. There's another reason why I do a camera, but it's really secret. I was the fifth child, and my mom had her first four as one family. So my older brother is 16 years older than me, and the one that's closest to me in age is 9 years older than me. And so she had that family, and then I came along. And I think I was in first grade because in first grade they always ask you to bring in your baby picture because they're going to talk about babies. And I kept asking my mom for a baby picture because I needed to bring it to school. And she was like, "I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it." And finally she like showed up with this picture that was dated the year of my birth, and it was this baby. And I'm like, "Oh, good, baby picture." And my sister happened to come home that day and she goes, "Oh, that's not Jean, that's cousin whoever." And I was like, oh, there were no pictures.
Oh my goodness.
I have this one picture of me and my mom that I love, and I've always loved it. And my mom passed away a while ago. Another reason why you need photos. I have this one picture of my mom. I was really little, with tons of curly hair, snuggling up against my mom. And one day I said, "This is one of my favorite photos." And she goes, "Oh yeah, that was the week you almost died." I was like, "What?" And she said, "Oh yeah, you had a fever of like 105 in that photo, and we were afraid we were going to lose you." And I'm like, "My favorite what?"
My goodness, that puts a whole new spin.
I know, right? And I'm like, okay, seriously, you took a picture just in case you lost me. You wanted to have some kind of memory, like
Is that
so.
the only photo of you?
There are very few photos of me when I was little. Very, very few photos of me when I was little.
Oh man.
So I believe very strongly in having memories of your
I
world that you came.
agree. But I love how you even tell that story with a smile on your face. You're so positive. Like you exude like I'm gonna tell you the story of how we met because I know I was holding it away from you. So back in I wanna say like 2017, we were at a leadership lunch where in
Oh,
Hydro, and I just remember you walking into the room and it was like mind you, it was a well lit room, but it was as if the sun was shining inside the room when you showed up. Your energy, the way you spoke, the way that
so
you contributed, you were just such a bright, shining star in the room. And I was like, I like her. I've always liked you. So now, because of the quarantine, we've been able to kind of reconnect and get in front of each other more. So I'm so excited to have you on Dose of Sunshine. And you are just a ray of sunshine.
thank you. I have my moments, I really do. I it's not fair that I call them my Italian moments, but my mom was Rosa Maria Signorelli, like seriously. And she would, so I always call them my Italian moments, but I should just say my mom moments, I guess. But I think everybody needs to honor the fact that all other emotions are real. And so you have to say, no, that I got angry about that, or I got sad about I tend to get sad more than I get angry. Um, but emotions are real. You get them, you get frustrated, you get everything. I believe that happiness is a choice.
I agree. Oh, I so agree with that. That is, man. I was gonna ask you, do you have any favorite quotes? But I'm gonna tell you my favorite quote. And my mom like forced this on me as a child, and she will never live it down. But she always taught me that negativity is unintelligent. And I always thought to myself, I don't want to be stupid. So I have to think the positive way to spin this. And every horrible situation that I went through as a kid, or challenges or obstacles, I was always like, well, it wasn't so bad because blah, 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 blah. And I remember having to write a speech about why I've overcome obstacles, and I had nothing to say because I was like, it's all gravy. I can handle anything, and I could not focus on the negative because I was so positive my whole life.
I think that's awesome. I think I try to like live inside the space of choice. Um, my child will forever say he thinks I'm strange. He thinks I act like a 12-year-old, which I love because I personally do think I'm 22.
You are.
But I am. But he would say things to me when he was really little. He would go, "Mom, that's weird." I'd be like, "What's weird?" It was like, "Well, you were just angry." Like, and I said, I was, you something got broke or something. And he's like, I know, but now you're not angry. And I was like, right, because something happened. I expressed that I was unhappy with the fact that something happened, but I love you. So I could choose to let that anger color everything else. Or I could say, my favorite mug just got broken. Next time, could you be more careful? And we can move on and we can go play again.
I just love you.
Because it's
Amazing.
there's no value in it. I kind of look at it like fuel, right? So if you have a fire and you keep putting wood on the fire keeps burning.
Yep.
If you take a bucket of water and you pour that water on the fire goes out, right? So decide what fuel you want to keep your light burning, and just keep feeding it, because that's the best way to move through the world, I think.
My goodness, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I just love you. Oh, I'm so happy I had you on today. You are a dose of sunshine for real. Even my mom says so. She says you're more than a dose. And Tina says two of my faves. Of course we are.
I think the thing that's so sad about this time is I actually have a client, I have multiple clients. But there was a client that I was working with, and I said, so what made you decide to work with me? And she goes, she had met me at a show where I had my work up in. And she said, I loved the fact that you hugged me. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm kind of a hugger. And I'm really respectful of it. Like, I don't know, probably I said it to you, I say it to everybody. I shake hands, I wave, and I hug. Whatever makes any, it's like I kind of love hugs, but
I'm a
whatever.
recovering hugaholic, so.
So this whole world is very strange. And I'm now getting texts from people and emails from people going, I can't wait to work with you again. I can't wait to be hugged. And I'm like, well, the work is going to come sooner than the hug right now, but know in my heart, I'm hugging you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
the virtual hugs are there.
They're really
Just
good.
imagine me hugging you.
I know. It's all good. It's,
Yeah.
we'll get where I think maybe that's, I'm very careful. So I do my talks on Tuesday and Thursday with people. I love doing it.
Yes. Wait, can you talk a little bit about that?
So okay, ready? I hate being on film. I carry a
What?
camera because I like being behind camera. I love being behind the camera. And I never would go on camera. People would get so mad at me. And then all of a sudden, I'm trapped in these little boxes, right? For hours on end. For every meeting, I'm trapped in these boxes, staring at myself. Because if you don't look at yourself, if you're not looking this way, right, then you're not looking at it's like, so you end up, unfortunately, unless you like block, it's like you're seeing yourself. And I'm like, oh, I guess I got used to seeing myself. So but what I also got used to seeing is I got used to seeing people showing up in their robes, people who were like, like just the amazing things that were happening inside these Zoom rooms. So I decided, because it's my personality, to do something funny. And I did something called Zoomification Education. And if you go to my Facebook page, it's 3 videos about what to do in a Zoom room, and they're kind of funny. And but it really does say, if it's the morning that you woke up and thought to yourself, I'm not getting dressed, This second thought needs to be, I'm not going on that Zoom call. They go together, right?
Yeah.
Just little things like that. And I brought in some friends. Our friend Tina came on, the last one with me, to talk about, group etiquette. I love Tina. And I realized just how much I loved it. And the other part of it was there were so many people who felt like me and didn't really want to be on camera. And I was getting all these calls from people saying, tell me how to light myself. Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what. So I went, great. I'm just going to do these kind of things. I'm going to do what I call my Zoomification conversation and bring them together. And we're going to talk about life. And it's going to make them feel a little bit more comfortable. And since what I really do in my business is help business people look great in their marketing, and I haven't been able to do it with the camera for the last couple of months, I could do it this way. And it's been so much fun. We've been having such a great time. But it was a choice. It was a choice to say, do I want to say, oh, I love you? And thanks for being with me, Tina. It was great. I really find myself living inside this space that a lot of people don't feel like they have a voice that's valuable. And it becomes very helpful when they know they're being listened to. So being that conduit and giving people that opportunity to speak while someone's listening and really paying attention lets them really shine and show who they are. So that's what I do every Tuesday and Thursday at 3:00 because it's fun.
That is
what you do.
So perfect.
That's what you do, right?
You are amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And you are as well. I was really sad because you're Sami Sunshine, and I'm like, but, okay, I won't be that. I'll just be me.
So how can individuals connect with you if they wanted to?
So I'm such an honest human. You might have to nag me a little bit because I'm a little bit crazy. Every once in a while I get a little bit crazy. I am creative manager for a local magazine. And I do all of the photos. And that actually I still have been able to work with my camera for that because working for the magazine, it's essential. And I got to do that. But so every once in a while it might be difficult, but you can always reach me via email at jeant@jeantermanphotography.com. You can go to my website and see what's going on in my world at jeantermanphotography.com. And Facebook, Instagram, if you really want to know what's kind of happening in my world, go to Instagram at Jean Terman Photography. And, reach out any way you want. But do know, until I figure out how to do this, do not text me on the studio line. I get emails from people saying, I texted you and you never responded. And I'm like, right, because I've been in business for 16 years and that's actually a landline. It's like I know the world has changed, but I have to swing that line. I just haven't swung it yet. So I'm working on it. But for now, don't text my studio line.
No, that's silly. But everyone should be visiting Jean Terman Photography. Follow her on Instagram. She is amazing. And my mom just called you Jolly Jean. So little, I forgot what it's, alliteration. What is that? I think it's alliteration. Hilarious.
Oh, well.
I think it's called alliteration, right? When it's two of the same letter. I'm not sure. Anyways, so swinging from that line, these people watching are so funny. All right, so I want to thank you for coming on to A Dose of Sunshine. I know you brought a dose of sunshine to everybody watching. You are a ray of sunshine always. So thank you so much for being here, and I am so happy that you were able to come.
Thank you for having me, everybody. It is Friday morning. I love that she does this on Friday morning because the weekend's coming, and there's so much to do. Just choose happy and stay forward thinking. You have to look back. Because looking back is what puts those pictures on your wall and gives you something to focus on. But when you look back, even if you're looking at things that you think are mistakes, understand that for every mistake you made, it was just instruction on what comes next. And don't make it again. And just walking forward.
Words of wisdom from Jean Terman.
I think I'm 12, but I'm not. I've been around for a while. I have a few of them.
You are a very young sage. How about that?
I like you. You are so good. Will you just like stay? Y'all can go. I'm gonna hang out with Sami because she makes me feel good.
All right. Have a wonderful morning, everyone. I will see you next week. Please join us live every Friday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a dose of sunshine. Talk
If
soon.
you're looking, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 on my Facebook page.
There you
Okay.
go. Yeah.